Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Divorced Woman's Guide podcast. How are you guys doing today? I am your host, Wendy Sterling, and I am looking forward to today's episode for a reason that may surprise you or maybe not. But today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about how when we embrace transitions, we are actually creating stepping stones to our next level. And today's episode is a very personal one for me because it really has to do a lot with the journey that I have been on over the last, I would say, probably maybe about the last year and a half, really since my mom passed away. And what has been going on with me has really been something along the lines of what I'm calling a spiritual awakening that has happened. And this podcast and divorce rehab really were the business that I created from my own challenging life transition of divorce. And it was really born from the place of, really wanting to help those of you guys who were navigating the same path that I was, something unexpected, something that, I never would have called myself a divorcee. But what I wanted was to create something that would help others like me to support you guys in navigating a similar path. And, it's funny how life really does send us on paths that we don't necessarily intend, but yet at the same time, it has been the most amazing, it's been now 7 years of my life. And while my divorce and my separation and, all of that actually also coinciding with my mom's cancer diagnosis, yes, it shook me to the core. And once my mom passed away about a year and a half, I really felt another disconnect was happening between me and what my business looked like and really the work that I was doing. And as many of you, I'm sure, are experiencing, that grief can be a very profound teacher. And it really challenges our entire being, our essence, as I call it, and really forces us to confront, some really deep stuff. And what I discovered last year, I've always been very spiritual, but I think once my mom passed away, I really was seeking a deeper connection to the universe, to God, to spirituality, to my spirit guides, to my angels, one of whom is my mom, and just the divine. And through that journey of grief and self-discovery, what I experienced really was a massive spiritual awakening. It really started at the end of last year when I went to Egypt. And that was eye-opening in so many ways. It really taught me new ways to tap into my intuition. It taught me, the gifts that I am receiving from spirit to bring into this world. It really just awakened me and my intuition to a completely new level. And I realized, starting in Egypt, and then I was in Puerto Rico, and then I was also in France, my purpose has really evolved. And my mission, my purpose on this planet is really to extend beyond the realm of divorce recovery. And so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is really kind of what I've been experiencing myself around this transition that I've been going through, And ultimately, the way that I see them are stepping stones that have really led me to my next level of growth and fulfillment. And a lot of you guys know that I talk about this metaphor quite a bit, but I believe that any life transition, right? These pivotal moments that happen in our lives are almost like a cocoon that shelters a caterpillar as it undergoes that beautiful metamorphosis and transformation into a butterfly. And while at first you may be thinking to yourself, geez, Wendy, cocoon does not sound comfortable, right? but neither are transitions, right? Transitional periods feel uncomfortable. They feel confining. But what I know, because I've been through this many times, is that within them lies the potential for us to experience and allow ourselves to lean into these inner shifts that allow us to emerge as a beautiful and evolved butterfly, but not a butterfly that you think, your wings are going to look the way you think that they are. And if you guys are open to exploring this perspective, what I'm trying to also communicate to you is a reframe. So a reframe in how it is that you see this transition of your life right now. And instead of seeing it as you failed or even as your marriage failed, what I have always preached and what I have done, like I walk the walk, I talk the talk, but I viewed it as an opportunity to learn about myself, to refine my path, to become, to use what I had learned to become the best version of myself. And if there's anything that my divorce taught me, it was to really start paying attention to my intuition and to let that start leading my life instead of others or even my ego. And I felt as though the universe was really gently nudging me towards my most authentic self and really what my true purpose is in this life and on this planet. And so I know that you guys can relate to experiencing a transition in your life where your entire world crumbled around you. And if you're anything like I was, I'm sure you had or you still currently are questioning every decision that has led you to that point. But at the same time, I invite you to consider, what might this transition, right? What might this be doing for you? How could it be shaping you moving forward? What is it awakening you to? And if you guys follow me on social media, part of the shift in my business is also shift in my social media. So I actually encourage you guys to follow my other Instagram account, which is really where most of my content is going to go moving forward. Divorce Rehab is still going to be around, but really where I'm putting my brand is at, the handle is at Wendy Page Sterling, and Page is Piage. But I've been sharing a lot of my thoughts with my communities, and it's been amazing to read what people's feedback has been around this transition that I am going through. And, just to name a few, one person talked about how graciously I show up, how I'm respectful, how even though it was clear I was deeply hurt, I never was dismissive of my ex. And I really have been open about sharing about my new love and my new family that I've created, how we've cohabitated with our kids, and really honestly how, one person said, I can see the light in your face, and that tells me everything I need to know about how you healed yourself. And, I'm glad that I have your support, to get through this. And so, it's really, I feel so incredibly grateful to be doing the work that I do. And I also know that it's time for me to shift and to move into this next phase. And so for me, it's really about seeing how the last, 7 years of my life have really been a constant transformation. And it has been me going through continuous transitions, and none of them have been ones that I've really expected. But as I go through them, I find that I challenge my assumptions. I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and it has really forced me to grow in ways that I could have never imagined. I took August as a self-care month, and never did I think that that was going to happen in my life, but it's been probably the most successful month of my business that I've ever had. I've been doing less. But what I've noticed is that I have, by doing less and being me out in the world, it's really brought an amazing new group of women into my life that I now have the privilege of getting to work with. And I feel aligned with my soul's journey at this point in my life. I felt aligned before, but there was some misalignment happening, and now moving forward, I really have received so much clarity on the work that I get to do. And so I will tell you, it has not been easy to embrace this. I have been in total resistance. I've been working with my coaches to talk about it because how do you let your baby go, like your baby business go? And it's not that I'm erasing it, but I'm moving into a new path. And so I have had to confront my fears and my uncertainties about this shift head on. And I have for quite some time. I've been in resistance for probably the last 6 months, but it really has been during those times of discomfort that I've really noticed and watched myself really grow and evolve. And as I've been aligning my true self with this new path and listening to every sign and even if it's a whisper from the universe, what has happened is abundance has really flowed with so much ease. And I've been on this path that just resonates with my heart and my soul. And I feel a greater sense of authenticity and massive fulfillment. And so what I will hope today's episode is inspiring you guys to hear is really the next time that you are navigating the emotions over this life transition that you are going through. If you feel as though it's a setback, I really, really encourage you to shift your perspective and instead to see it as an opportunity for learning, an opportunity for growth and transformation rather than a failure. And so I'm curious what it is that you guys are hearing. What is it that you are resisting, right? Like, what is it about this transition that has you questioning what's next? Because what I know to be true is that what's on the other side of this is insane growth and a version of you that you are going to fall in love with. So definitely be sure to share with me. I want to thank you guys for being a part of my community and also for listening to this particular podcast episode and all my other ones. If there's anything that I'd like to leave you with is that remember that life transitions are milestones on your journey to becoming the you that you were always meant to be. So I encourage each and every one of you guys to embrace this transition, and what you will discover is that they are stepping stones to your next level. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's podcast episode. I want to say thank you again for tuning in. Follow me on social media at Wendy Page Sterling. Same thing on Facebook, Wendy Sterling, and more and new stuff is on its way. We'll be giving birth to. And I just hope that today's episode gave you guys a nugget of information to help you navigate wherever it is that you are in your divorce process. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Sending you so much love, light, and joy as always. Mwah. Bye, everybody.